We are also concerned about the general conduct of the election, considering the role of INEC, the security operatives, politicians, and the citizens themselves.
Last lap of 2019 general elections, advocacy groups call for peaceful polls, advocate legal measures against election violence perpetrators.
In the ongoing elections is to support the Nigerian police in ensuring that Nigerians are able to perform their civic obligations in a peaceful and secure environment.
Defense Ministry reads Riot Act on Election Day security. Coverage says any officer not on official duty found around polling areas will be sanctioned. President Buhari pays glowing tribute to Nigerian women for invaluable roles in national development as the world celebrates Women's Day. Supreme Court upholds appellate court's decision on interim forfeiture of former First Lady Patience Jonathan's funds. Good evening and a warm welcome to NTA Network News. I am Jomai Yusuf. Reading with me tonight is Jennifer Igwe from Lagos and Khalid Gochin is in Jos. Now, the office of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Ibisikpo, Asutan local government area of Akwa Ibom was engulfed by fire in the early hours of today.
Thank you, studio, for having me. Here is INEC office, Ibisikpo Asutan local government area of Plateau State, where we recorded a fire incident early hours of this morning, Friday. Information gathered on ground indicates that some card readers, numbers we do not know, were consumed, and the materials for election tomorrow are intact. Nothing has happened to the materials. We also have seen a lot of officers on ground assessing the level of damage.
Those are the old documents that were passed. Yes, you used one.
Electoral officers are also here sorting out the gubernatorial and House of Assembly materials for tomorrow's election. Right now, I will be going to the Resident Electoral Commissioner of Plateau State, Mike Igini, to give us the true situation of things and how the election will occur tomorrow.
Despite the unfortunate event in the wee hour of this morning in that local government, elections will go on tomorrow. As you would have observed when you visited the local government, the entire ballot papers that we had delivered before are still intact. Nothing has happened to the ballot papers. Configuration process is ongoing.
Mike Igini speaks further on the level of damage caused by the fire outbreak.
We lost 13 gen sets, brand new generator set, the carrier that we just spoke about, the ballot boxes, and some other not very useful materials. But the good news is that the ballot papers are intact.
Mike Igini has also called on Akwa Ibom people to come out en masse tomorrow to exercise their franchise as everything is under control. In Oyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital, Ifoma Ihoje, NTN News.
Meanwhile, the Defense Headquarters says any military personnel not on duty, election duty found in uniform on election day around polling units will be arrested and sanctioned in accordance with the military justice system. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that Acting Director of Defense Information Colonel Inyema Onwachukwu announced this at a press briefing in Abuja.
It is crucial to re-emphasize the directive of the Chief of Defense Staff.
The briefing, preparatory to governorship and state houses of assembly elections, is aimed at stressing the mandate of the armed forces in the electoral process, as enshrined in Section 217 of the 1999 Constitution.
That the role of the armed forces of Nigeria in the ongoing elections is to support the Nigerian police in ensuring that Nigerians are able to perform their civic obligations in a peaceful and secured environment. The Armed Forces of Nigeria is guided by the Code of Conduct and Rules of Engagement that have been provided for military personnel deployed to maintain security during elections.
For prompt response to threats, the Defense Headquarters and Services have established situation rooms to monitor the elections and the conduct of troops across the country.
Despite the unfortunate attacks on our personnel by political hoodlums during the last election, the Armed Forces of Nigeria, as a professional and reputable institution, wishes to reassure the public that no reprisal attack will be carried out by any military personnel, unit, or formation.
While commensurating with those that lost their lives during the recent elections, commanders have been directed to ensure sanity prevails within their areas of responsibilities. From the Defense Headquarters in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And INEC says it is set for the state elections on Saturday, 9th of March. INEC National Commissioner Information and Voter Education, Festus Okoye, stated this while speaking to correspondent Mayor Ogidi. The INEC image maker also reacted to one fire incident that took place in one of the commission's office in Akwa Ibom State, as well as the death of the APC candidate of the Adamawa State Assembly elections.
In most of the states, the ballot papers, resources, and other election materials left the central bank early enough. As of now, some of them have already finished batching the materials and getting ready to move tomorrow morning. So as of today, I believe that we are prepared for the conduct of these elections. I believe that we are going to do much, much better than we did during the presidential and national assembly elections. So we got information that there was a fire incident at the Ibesibo Asutan local government office of the Independent National Electoral Commission. During the fire incident, the commission lost a total of 198 smart card readers. We lost the voters register, we lost 13 generators, we lost voting cubicles and other equipment. Fortunately, the ballot papers and the resources for the conduct of the elections were not affected. So what we have done is that we have liaised with the resident electoral commissioner for Akwa Ibom State, and we have quickly re-engineered things and replaced the smart card readers that were lost in the fire incident. And we want to assure the people of the local government and the people of Akwa Ibom State that we are ready for the elections in Akwa Ibom State and all the elections, including the elections in the local government where this fire incident took place. It's unfortunate that on Wednesday, a member of the Adamawa State House of Assembly and the candidate of the All Progressives Congress participating in this particular election died. He represents, as at now, he represents Nasarawa Binyeri State Constituency in Mayo Belwa local government. His name is Adamu Kwanate. What the law says is that the moment somebody passes on, after the close of nominations and before polls open, the commission, being satisfied of the death of that person, shall countermand that particular election and fix another date for the conduct of the elections within a period of 14 days.
It is just a few hours away from the governorship and state houses of assembly elections. Nigerians are making last-minute preparations as well as gearing up to once again perform their civic responsibility. Joseph Johnson, who compiled some of the stories from across the country, reports.
Fatima Sanusi Karaye, who went round the Kano metropolis, says people besieged various markets to make last-minute purchase in view of restriction order placed on the ancient city ahead of Saturday's election. Meanwhile, Paul Ebel in Cross River State reports that INEC and other stakeholders have promised to put in their best to ensure a successful governorship and state houses of assembly elections in the state.
I take instructions from my INEC headquarters in Abuja. So far, that instruction has not been changed. So we are just going to vote APC logo. No candidate is attached to any of the governorship factions. We have received the remaining 5% of the sensitive materials.
In Akure, Olajide Bello says the mood is peaceful And on the part of the electoral umpire, activities have shifted to the 18 local government areas where measures have been put in place for a hitch-free process.
Card readers have been refortified, reformatted, and they are working at the optimal level.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force Ogun State Command has demonstrated readiness to combat crime and protect lives and property during and after Saturday's elections. Ibrahim Jibrin in Guber State reports that sensitive and non-sensitive materials have been distributed to various polling units across the state.
Every item is complete because we checked since day before yesterday, and even yesterday morning we checked and we sorted everything out, array by array. So right now they are moving down to their rec centers so that they will have enough time again to sort it PU by PU.
Preparations generally are said to be in top gear across the country. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Thank you, Joseph. Now, the Youth Initiative for Advocacy, Growth and Advancement, YAGA Africa, has expressed concern over the increasing reports of attack on INEC officials, materials and structures ahead of the governorship and state assemblies elections. This was made known during a pre-election media briefing in Abuja. Victor Ozu reports.
It's the eve of the governorship and state assemblies elections, and preparations are in top gear by all key players. Drawing from its field experiences during the presidential elections and INEC preparations for Saturday's elections, YAGA Africa, a non-governmental organization and INEC-accredited election observer, decides to brief the media on its pre-election observations. As the hosts and invitees settle down to business, chair of the Watching the Vote Working Group and board chairman, Husseini Abdu, calls on security agencies to provide adequate protection for INEC officials and facilities. He also expresses concern with the non-compliance of some INEC officials with result collation guidelines.
INEC should ensure collation centers are accessible to accredited observers. The Form EC40G should be revised to include details for cancellation for every polling unit where cancellations occurred. There is a need for clarity on who of reserve the authority to cancel ballot and the levels where cancellations will take place.
The organization also presented its analysis to the public, detailing the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats of youth candidates in Nigeria's 2019 general elections.
We discovered that poor or inadequate funding is the major impediment to youth candidates in the 2019 general elections.
End youth and development partners should focus intervention on youth candidates with defined campaign structures in their constituencies. Such interventions should evolve from consultation with local stakeholders.
YAGA Africa was a major part of the Not Too Young to Run campaign, which led to the reduction of age for intending political aspirants across board. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Center for Transparency Advocacy have spoken on the need for perpetrators of election violence to be brought to book to serve as deterrent to others. Timothy Yusuf reports.
The advocacy was made at the opening of a situation room for the governorship and state houses of assembly elections in Abuja. It identified 7-point concerns, including INEC's directives on special treatment for nursing mothers, pregnant women, people living with disabilities, and the elderly.
We are also concerned about the general conduct of the election, considering the role of INEC, the security operatives, politicians, and the citizens themselves, ensuring that the vote of the people count.
Members expressed confidence in INEC's ability to improve on the strides recorded during the February 23, 2019 presidential and National Assembly elections in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf, NT News.
Still on the calls from across the country on a free, fair and credible elections come Saturday, the National Youth Council of Nigeria is urging Nigerian youths to shun all forms of violence in the governorship and Houses of Assembly elections scheduled for this Saturday. Patricia Esama Luba reports.
The mood here says it all. Happy Nigerian youths expressing their joy and quickly reminding their compatriots of the need to shun all forms of violent acts that characterize the presidential and the National Assembly elections in some parts of the country. Under the auspices of the National Youth Council, the national president, Sokubo Sarah Igbe Sokubo, cautioned Nigerian youths, particularly those in river states, not to be used as talks by politicians in the Saturday's governorship election.
9th March governorship election and state assembly election, Rivers youth across the 23 local government area should please make sure they maintain peace and order in their various local government units, wards, and communities.
The council also celebrated the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari with members from the 23 local government areas of Rivers State and other affiliate youth organizations at a convergence in Port Harcourt.
For his re-election, and this is just the beginning. Nigerian youth are going to celebrate it again in a grand style.
The youths believe the massive support for President Buhari, who is the grand patron of the council, shows the confidence Nigerians have in him. Patricia A. Samiluba, NTA News.
And today, the world over, women are being celebrated, and scholars have described women as a symbol of beauty, brilliance, strength, priceless treasure of God's creation over the years. This has come to be widely accepted, and consequently, a day is set aside to celebrate women folk worldwide. Basi Ita Ekpang in this report takes a look at the significance of the day and various activities to mark the day in Nigeria.
A woman is said to be the soul of life, an epitome of care. She meets up societal expectations and still keeps her head up.
The issue of women is very important, especially in the life of every human being.
Let the women wear the right mindset and to take the right decision from an informed circumstances.
Some of our potentials and do the right thing, because minus women, I think there are every dull moments.
The International Socialist Women Conference in 1910 in New York suggested that Women's Day be held annually on the 8th of March to celebrate the achievements of women.
A gender pay gap persists across the globe, and women are still not present in equal numbers in business or politics.
To do like other African countries are doing today, like in Rwanda we have 50-50 representation. In other countries we're having 40-60, so there's nothing wrong with Nigerian government giving the women the 50-50.
The world is not complete without the woman. Now, because the woman or the women folk is just another angle of humanity, and there is no way you can run with one leg. You need both feet on the ground.
The Minister of Women Affairs stressed the need to carry young girls along.
This is our opportunities for women to start a fresh day today. It's a new dawn, and keep on going.
While Director General National Women Development Center believes the day is an opportunity for women to evaluate their contributions and strategize for further participation, WHO wants women to think outside the box and come up with transformative ways to put gender equality forward.
As it speaks to current day realities, women face in achieving gender equity and equality with regards to women representation,
is a clarion call to all of us that rapid economic and transformational development will only be achieved by addressing and resolving the gender-based differences.
The theme for this year's celebration, Think Equal, Build Smart, Innovate for Change, comes with an hashtag, Balance for Better, calling on everybody everywhere to build an exciting and gender-balanced future. Basi Taipan, NTA News.
As women celebrate themselves, President Muhammadu Buhari celebrates women folk on the occasion of the International Women's Day, in a tribute to women for the invaluable roles they play in building homes and, by extension, the nation. President Buhari applauds the lofty contributions of women folk in both the public and private sectors of national life. The president especially appreciates the crucial role women play daily, as their active participation in the elections have been counted as aspirants, candidates, mobilizers and voters, hailing the fact that some of the government's most important policies and programs are headed by women. Similarly, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, in a message extolling the nurturing spirit of women, says she will continue to use her position to support them towards the socio-economic political development of Nigeria. She also commends women for being pillar of men, encouraging them to grow stronger together in love, peace and unity, to keep praying for peaceful coexistence amongst Nigerians. The theme for this year's celebration is Balance for Better. I'm now being joined in the studio by Deputy National Organizing Secretary Indi Kato for the Middle Belt Forum. She's a young politician and an analyst. Thanks for coming on Network News.
Thank you for having me.
You're also an activist, I see.
Of course I am.
Year in, year out, we celebrate International Women's Day. And the theme for this year is Better for Balance. What does that mean for Nigerian women?
Well, Balance for Better means everybody needs to come on board. On everything, really, on the fight for women equality, everybody, we need balance there. It's not just a fight for women to have. And in offices, too, in governance, you know, we need more women in governance. I was, part of the research we're doing, found out that if we achieve equality by 2025, that the world's GDP will climb to 28 trillion. So it's even an economic issue where we need balance for that. It's not just a personal thing. It's an economic issue. It's a well-rounded issue. In the National Assembly, for example, the GO bill has been sitting there for a while and it keeps getting kicked out. Imagine if we had enough women lawmakers there, what difference it will make. So it's that balance we're looking at, knowing that if both genders are represented equally, decisions will be balanced. Everything will be balanced. We'll have a better world, actually.
35% affirmative action.
Yes, please. Yes, we demand it.
Yes, sir. So what has been the impact of celebrating Women's Day, you know, and with regards to women participation in politics? You're just joining politics.
Yes, it's the conversation, really. Yeah. It's the conversation that matters, that every year women's issues come to the fore. And then it doesn't just stop on that day. When more people started finding out about Women's Day, at first people were a bit, you know, what is happening? Yeah. Why don't men have their own day and all of that? But women are a disadvantaged group, of course. So there was a need for this day. And with more, and like some countries actually do public holiday for this. Nigeria has not gotten to that point yet. But we've come to the point where we actually recognize this, and every year we have that conversation on the need for more women representation, and then praising women. Like, your career, you're doing excellently well. This is the day that will actually bring out your name. These are our top women reporters. And what it does, it makes more women want to come in. You know, women, one of the major problems we face is lack of information. Many don't know how many other great women are doing things out there. And on days like this, women are just really celebrated, and others can see, oh, that's a woman like me. Oh, look at that. Look at
I want to be like her.
And I want to be like her.
President Muhammadu Buhari, in his message, you know, glowingly, you know, a tribute to the Nigerian women. What more can be done to enhance women participation and contribution to national growth? A lot of men are out there doing their best.
We need women-friendly policies, policies that encourage or push for inclusion. And not just these policies. Nigeria has a lot of these policies, but the implementation too. We need seriousness in these policies and bringing women to the table when the policies are being made. And then implementation. One thing I'm glad about with respect to this government, of course, the First Lady, very vocal. She does not hide her own. So we'd like women, more women within the government to be vocal like that. And for the men to listen and understand how far gender parity and, you know, equity for women will take us in this country.
Your message to women on the last note?
Well, Balance for Better is participation. Women, we need to come out and participate. There are many women like you out here. Your stories in private are our stories too. We are just normal women like you doing our best, and we need more women to come on board to do our best and convince your husbands. Do your best to convince them.
That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
Thank you so much for coming on Network News.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure having you. I've been in the conversation with Indi Kato, Deputy National Organizing Secretary for the Middle Belt Forum. We'll now take a break. When we come back, Network News continues.
He is Anthony Joshua.
In strength,
Yeah, that comes from the hard knocks that life throws at us. And we Nigerians, we know all about that. We don't stay down, we get up and fight. Sure, it's about speed, technique, quality of the punches, reach. But the real fight was with myself.
It's the power, but it's the speed as well.
But I can't carry this heavyweight title by myself. There's always got to be someone in my corner. And that's why I believe in Glow. We have that same tenacity, that Nigerian fighting spirit that makes us game changers. You have to dig deep to be a world champion. But yeah, we Nigerians, yeah, we know all about that.
What a fight!
Glow, our halo.
Heavyweight champion of the world!
At the last general elections, only 47% of registered voters voted.
Only 47% perform their civic duties.
This year,
we will change that. Make healthcare, employment,
infrastructure an issue.
Polls open by 8 a.m. and close by 2 p.m.
After voting, stay back peacefully and ensure your votes are counted.
Report incidents and observation to the situation room.
Text or call
0802 181 2999
or
0909 5050505.
tweet at Situation Room NG.
Hashtag SR Observes 2019.
Hashtag SR 2019 elections. If you have your PVC,
Get set to
vote.
In the governorship and state houses of assembly elections.
Life evolves. You should too. 3G is great. 4G is better. Buy an Airtel SIM to enjoy double data on Nigeria's widest 4G network.
Airtel, the smartphone network. Everybody dance now.
We are the strongest. No challenge can stop us. So Lord, and we are the brightest. No darkness can blind us. We are the strongest.
Malta Guinness is packed with B vitamins to fuel your greatness.
Sore throats, it's often caused by bacteria and viruses. It feels like they're having it hot. You need Strepsils. It soothes the pain, plus it fights the germs with 2 germ-killing actives. Double power in 1 lozenge. Bye-bye sore throats. Take Strepsils.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
You are watching NTA Network News, reaching you live from Abuja. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari this Friday joined the Emir of Daura, Umar Farouk Umar, and all the Muslim faithful for prayers of thanksgiving over his re-election for a second term in office. State House correspondent Adam Musambo reports that the prayer took place during the Jumat service at the new 1,000 capacity mosque facilitated by the president in his native village, Dumurkul, near Daura, Katsina State. The doors of the mosque was formally opened to worshippers at a ceremony attended by a number of Islamic leaders in the community. Shortly after the prayers, the Emir of Daura praised the president and his family members for making available a part of their farmland used in building the mosque, describing it as an important example of the president's commitment to his native community. He also thanked the people of Daura and Nigeria at large for re-electing the president and asked for support that will enable him succeed in his mandate. In his sermon, the Imam of the mosque, Al-Haji Suleiman Dutsi, urged the president to strive towards meeting genuine public expectations, saying leaders must always remember that they will give account to God for everything they do. Still with President Buhari, on behalf of his family and the Federal Executive Council, President Muhammadu Buhari heartily felicitates with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, senior advocate of Nigeria, on the occasion of his 62nd birthday. The president joins Dalapo, her children and Nigerians across the country and around the globe to celebrate the erudite scholar, minister of the gospel and very dependable deputy with whom I share a very special bond. A statement by the Presidential Assistant on Media and Publicity, Guber, President Buhari is grateful to God for preserving the life of Professor Osinbajo in the past 4 years, who has diligently championed the values of setting the foundation for the peace, progress and stability of Nigeria by working very hard to build a resilient economy while promoting transparency and accountability. On this special occasion, the President extends special appreciation to the Vice President and wishes him many more years of robust health, happiness and fulfillment in his service to God, the nation and humanity. He looks forward to sharing many special moments of celebration with his deputy as they take Nigeria to the next level in the years ahead. Let's now join Jennifer Igwe live in Lagos for more updates. Hello, Jennifer.
Jumai. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. Hours before the gubernatorial and State House of Assembly election, correspondent Ken Igbeluge, who went to town to observe the mood of people, reports that Lagosians are eagerly looking forward to casting their ballots.
State elections are highly very competitive than presidential because there are a lot of competitors and people are competing to take over the seat of power in their various states.
We have to get home on time because it's not fun in the night. The traffic is always hectic.
They should try to beef up security because of all those staffs that they don't know the importance of the election.
Lagosians bearing their minds on tomorrow's elections in the state. A drive-through, major roads and streets proved that law and order was enforced in the metropolis as the atmosphere was calm with people going about their personal and business activities. Some of the routes were free of chaotic traffic, with vehicles moving with relative ease, although there were pockets of traffic on a few roads. When NTA visited some motor parks in Yaba and Jibowu, we observed that passengers were traveling to their various destinations ahead of the election. Meanwhile, the public relations officer of INEC in the state has reassured the people of Lagos of the commitment of the electoral umpire.
All the materials needed for the election are now in all the 20 local government areas of the state. And I urge all Nigerians, Lagosians, to please come out and vote.
We have had several stakeholder meetings in my own office with the leaders of the various nationalities, the Igbo community leaders, the Hausa community leaders, the Yoruba community leaders. We have had stakeholder meetings with market associations in my office just to reassure them that what happened in Okota is not going to repeat itself.
45 governorship candidates are contesting for the governor of the state in Lagos. Ken Igbeluke, NTA News.
One of Nigeria's foremost insurance companies, African Alliance Insurance Limited, has unveiled a new corporate identity aimed at deepening acceptability among the teeming youthful population in the country. Amako, who was at the unveiling in Lagos, reports.
That unveiling of a new logo is the first of its kind since the establishment of African Alliance Insurance Limited in 1960. Management of the foremost insurance company expressed optimism that the rebranding process will awaken the consciousness of Nigerians and reposition the company's corporate identity.
We remain committed and true to our core values of accountability, accessibility, integrity, professionalism, loyalty, and creativity.
Those things that have been lined up to ensure that it impacts on growth. We're going to be stressing innovation. We're going to drive our products with technology. And there will be effective communication, like I said earlier. Effective communication, not just speaking, but speaking in a language people will understand.
Other key players confirmed that the new logo and other strategies will reinvent insurance package that will meet diverse needs of the people.
The new brand, has a spoken volume of the thinking of the management. I can see a combination of education, experience, and exposure. These are the 3 E's of rationality paradox.
We are already inclined digitally, to capture the youth market. I think that's the way to go.
African Alliance Insurance Limited has been in the vanguard of providing insurance policies for Nigerians in the last 6 decades. In Lagos, Amaka Owu, NT News.
This is NTA Network News. We'll continue after these messages. Join us again.
Helen!
Hey, where's your mom?
Today is her toilet day.
What?
Helen!
Toilet day? Tomorrow you're hosting a party and it's a matter of my reputation. Even if you spend your entire day cleaning with all this, it still won't be party ready. Impossible! Challenge? New Ticker Harpic 10X. Even if you use the solution 10 times, it won't give you the same cleaning like Harpic because its new Ticker formulation sticks to the bowl better, giving you a sparkling clean toilet.
Wow!
New Harpic 10X gives me the freedom from toilet day. La, 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 la. Experts, new Lifebuoy is now in Nigeria. Not just Lifebuoy, new Lifebuoy. Lifebuoy!
I thought leaving the country was the best decision for me and my future.
I left for a better life.
We were picked up by immigration officials and sent to a detention camp.
I spent 8 months in the detention camp.
There was no food, no water.
I saw people being beaten like animals.
Some women were raped. Some women were sold as slaves.
I thought I would never see my loved ones again.
I have made the biggest mistake of my life.
I have wasted all my savings.
I have to start all over again.
Migration is a human phenomenon which cannot be stopped. But if we choose to migrate, we advocate that it should be done in a safe, orderly, regular, and dignified way, and not in a dangerous and tortuous manner.
This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons.
Nothing satisfies a mother more than seeing a child grow up. But I know as he sweats, he'll face the risk of germs which can cause skin irritation.
That's why you need the new best ever Dettol Cool. Its new advanced formulation with extra menthol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs and gives your family icy cool freshness.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
When I was a little girl, I loved spending time with Mum and Grandma cleaning the house. I was so excited to sing in the choir.
And your shirts are always so white.
I knew what Mum's secret was. Today, I'm a modern woman that still trusts the secrets passed down to me. It's Jik, of course. The original trusted bleach, which can be used all around your house for amazing results.
Shh, it's our little secret.
It's no secret. It's Jik's best ever extra whitening power. Just Jik it.
This is NTA Network News. Let's now join Abolade Salami in Lagos for business news. Abolade, what's new in the business world? We apologize for the loss of audio in the business news. Now, the Supreme Court has upheld the decision of the appeal court on the interim forfeiture of the sum of $8.4 million linked to the wife of the former president, Patience Jonathan. In a unanimous judgment, the five-man panel of justices led by Justice Dattijo Muhammad dismissed the appeal of Patience Jonathan, challenging the decision of the appellate court on interim forfeiture. The Apex Court directed the appellant to return to the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos to show cause why the funds will not be permanently forfeited to the federal government. The court also rejected the appellant's prayer to strike down the provision of Section 17 of the Advance Fee Fraud Act. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission last year approached a federal high court sitting in Lagos through an ex parte motion where the court ruled in favor of interim forfeiture of the funds. Back to election matters, now with Caleb in Jos. Hello, Caleb.
Thank you, Jumai. Welcome to Jos. All is set for the governorship, House of Assembly, and supplementary elections in Plateau State tomorrow. Resident Electoral Commissioner, Plateau State, Hussein Halilupai, says the commission has addressed issues encountered in previous elections to ensure a smooth process. Mary Domtour has the report.
On Saturday, 9th March, 2,631 polling units across the 17 local government areas of the state will have electorates voting for 300 candidates who are vying for 24 seats in the State Assembly, while 24 candidates will be contending one seat at the Little Rayfield Government House. The Resident Electoral Commissioner, while speaking on the level of preparedness for the election, said all sensitive and non-sensitive materials have arrived at 207 registration areas for onward distribution to the polling units.
We have made arrangement with the unions for early conveyance of these materials and personnel to the polling units so as to commence the polls at 8 o'clock.
On the challenges encountered during the last polls, the commissioner said they have been identified and addressed as the smart card readers have also been reconfigured. Mr. Pai called on Plateau citizens to conduct themselves in an orderly and peaceful manner during and after the elections. In Jos, Mary Domtour, NTA News.
The Commissioner of Police, Plateau State Command, Isaac Akimoede, has refuted claims emanating from some cutters alleging that the declaration sheet for tomorrow's elections are in somebody's custody. The police boss, who showed the sealed sensitive sheets to media at an emergency briefing in his office, said everything is intact, but only the state returning officer has the right to open it. Abba Abubakar Yakubu witnessed the briefing for NTA News.
Commissioner of Police said that such kind of allegation is very sensitive and is not expected to come from someone of the member-elect status who is expected to verify issues before going to the public. He stressed that what is being said about the sensitive materials is not true, with an assurance that the materials are in safe hands.
Because the result sheets are here, they are untampered with, nothing is wrong with them. We also have the registers, the register that the political parties signed.
Your perfect family is under threat by germs. Infectious diseases are now the world's biggest killer of adults and children. These infectious diseases are caused by germs. They are everywhere. An average human being comes in contact with over 1 million germs daily in unclean water, dirty surfaces, in the toilets, on cuts and wounds, on your clothes. Germs can cause deadly diseases like typhoid, diarrhea, flu, and cough. To protect your family from germs, use the power of Dettol's One Capful for surface cleaning in your bathing water, in your laundry water, for first aid to protect your family from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Introducing Dettol Antiseptic Liquid in Sachet for only 40 naira.
Endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association.
Thanks for staying with NTA Network News. We apologize for that brief blank during the commercials. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari Friday called Kebbi State Governor Abubakar Bagudu to extend heartfelt condolence to him and his family on the death of his younger brother, Alhaji Farouk Bagudu. A statement by the Presidential Assistant on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, President Buhari assured the Kebbi Governor, the Bagudu family and their friends of his personal prayers and thoughts as they mourn the passage of a beloved brother, husband and father, who until his demise was the managing director of Jihab Communications Limited. The president further prayed that Allah will grant the children and survivors the departed left behind the fortitude to bear the loss. Still on a sad note, the death has been announced of Senator Joseph Kennedy Waku, the Pro-Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Akure. A statement by the funeral committee says the deceased, who passed away on the 3rd of February this year in Abuja, will be honored in a requiem mass at the Holy Cross Catholic Church, Gwarimpa, on Monday, 11th of this month. On Wednesday, the 13th, body departs its residence in Abuja from Makurdi at 11 a.m. and to be followed by another mass at 6 in the evening. The funeral mass and full interment comes up on Thursday, March 14th at St. Mary's Catholic Church, North Bank, Makadi, Benue State at 10 a.m. The death has also been announced of Dr. Olorogun Joseph Shawo, who passed on to greater glory at the age of 81. Dr. Shawo, a medical director of over 52 years, trained in Germany and was the founder, chief medical director of the famous Ethiopia Clinic Group, Lagos and Sapele. He was for many years the medical director of Nigeria's Green Eagles, now Super Eagles. He was the majority leader of the House of Representatives in 1983. He is survived by many children, grandchildren, among whom is Willie Shawo, a former staff of the NTA. Now, the issue of sexual harassment and rape, especially amongst women and children, is getting the attention of the United States Embassy in Abuja. Gufan Shaji reports that the embassy is weighing in to curb the scourge.
Reports show that Nigeria's indices of sexual abuses are fast assuming a threatening dimension that requires urgent intervention, especially issues of rape that has become a serious social menace and no longer an isolated criminal act affecting just a few women in the society. This increase of sexual harassment, particularly in educational institutions, has caught the attention of the U.S. Embassy in Abuja as they are poised to exploring solutions. This documentary chronicles the hunting ground, x-rayed by several cases of victims of sexual assault in institutions across the United States. This, however, sparked reactions from a panel discussion of some Nigerians who were victims of sexual assault and some authorities in Nigerian universities.
I wasn't raped because I was dressed a particular way. We are responsible for all our actions. Are these cases underreported? I would not say they are underreported. I would say that the action of people who the cases are reported to deter other people from speaking up.
In the north, this is even more incredible because we have been a people that never talk about anything related to sex because that's a taboo.
Stirring up mixed emotions, they emphasize the need for strong policies on sexual offers or violators of any individual's fundamental human rights.
We have a policy that says this is what amounts to sexual harassment, and when you do this, this is where you're ending. The Akindele issue, when that girl made noise and people made noise, that Akindele now is chilling his heels in prison.
The film documentary will still be screening in Abuja as part of activities to mark International World Women's Day and spur more individuals to speak against the monster, sexual harassment in Abuja. Gufan Shaji, NTA News.
Thank you, Gufan.